Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly episode of Top 7 Parkour Videos. So welcome to 2020. This is going to be an excellent year for parkour and freerunning, with athletes throwing down some of the biggest skills you've ever seen. In today's top 7, we're going to be starting off with Seth Ruge. So this is a really quick clip that only has 2 skills in it, but it's just done at a really high elevation, and the size of the skill is pretty decent. So it's coming in at number 7 on our list today, Seth Ruge with his 360 stride. The 360 precision is not a new skill. It's been done countless times by many athletes, but we're seeing it come back in the year 2020, and it's going to be used in a lot more ways than it has been in the past. So we're seeing a lot of skills out of it, a lot of skills before it, seeing it done at heights, seeing it done onto really accurate ledges and rails. So it's a really cool skill to see Seth doing it at such a high height. Coming in at number 6 on our list, we have Jared Nahulu. Jared is really known in the community for his swings because he has such a good, powerful swing that really can't be matched by a whole lot of other athletes. He's also a pretty tall guy. Jared has gotten to the point where his laches cannot be any bigger with an upstart or just starting from a cast. So he has gotten to the point where he's doing giants into his skills to really get that extra bit of power for these challenges that seemed pretty much impossible just a couple years ago. We see people like Jared just hitting them now so casually. And that perfect accuracy over and over. So he obviously trains this over a pitch to some degree, and he's going to make sure that he can actually do the skill over and over before he takes it to a hard surface. So he's smart about his training, but this is still a crazy accomplishment for him to be making this lache pre. It looks to be on the order of somewhere between 15 to 16 feet. And not only that, but it's also a slightly elevated precision, so the amount of power he has to put into it is way higher than if it was a level to level. Coming in at number 5 today on our list, we have Kalen Chen down in Woodward Park City, throwing some massive combos that are just hyper speed, along with some pretty nice accuracy as well. So Kalen starts off with this double B twist into the cartwheel, popping back up all the way to the side flip with a step out. A nice tight space for a palm flip and coming through that little hole. A dash, nothing too fancy, with a palm spin. A really interesting bridge combo with that backflip in an oddly placed location. I really like that line, Kalen. Showing an extra clip at the very end, he's got that pullover all the way up back to the top of the tramp wall. That is just an extremely scary skill to do. If you haven't been on a tramp wall before, it's an awkward feeling because you almost feel like gravity is just shifting. So for him to be able to do such a large drop and be comfortable with that shows he's a pretty accurate athlete. I think my favorite thing about watching Kalen move is just that he is so fast and so accurate that it almost doesn't look real. If you were just showing this to one of the parkour muggles, the people who don't really understand what parkour is, they might not even realize that that's a real person doing something in real life because he's moving so quickly that it's hard to even tell what's happening. Coming in at number 4 on our list today, a returning athlete to our list, Ed Scott. So Ed's out at For the Love of Movement, and he's throwing down these huge skills. He's doing things that no one else is going to touch because no one else has the accuracy and the power that Ed has. So we're starting off this line, a huge run up into that elevator side plyo into the wall worm flip. It's a pretty short line, but it's just so powerful. Next up, he's got a really cool giant into what seems like a 180 slide down the rail, just a really interesting combo. And then just finishing out with some huge plyos across the entire gym with that double cork on the way out. I think one thing I should mention about Ed's movement is he's not always the most creative, but like I said, he has more power and control than almost any other athlete in the world right now. So there's just a lot of moves and a lot of things that he'll do that just nobody else is going to touch. Next up at number 3, we have David. So I don't know a whole lot about this athlete, to be quite honest, because I just found out about him this week. But I really like his style. I really like how powerful he is. And I like his connections through his skills. That's one thing that I think I really rate higher than even difficulty sometimes, is when an athlete has really clean connections between all their movements. And it's not just power, move, and wait. And power, move, and wait. Because it's an awkward pause. So I really like the way that he connects these skills together. So starting off, same run up as Ed Scott, but instead plyo into that dive call and that little ledge, really accurate and techie. Nice Euro step, coming down with a roll pop all the way to pre. Super fast line. And then some really big strides with a dive calling out. So again, just really nice work from David. Coming in this week at number 2, we have Matt PK. So Matthew Piquet is another athlete that I really don't know a whole lot of his background history, because I just found out about him this week. But I really like this line because he actually does 3 separate side flip prees in a competition line. So that's just a lot of pressure. You got to make sure that you get everyone down right, or else your line really is going to look like crap. So bravo, Matt, and let's see the clip. So the first side pre is not a huge gap. It is a pretty high one, so a little intimidating. The next one he has to actually take a second to line up for, but just sticks it on that tiny ledge, a really tiny square right there. Really nice lache side in. Nothing too fancy around here, just some basic transitions. Getting a pretty clean lache pre and almost a perfect stick on that end, and he knows it too. If he actually would have stuck that landing at the very end, he probably would have got a little better score in terms of his execution. But other than that, a really solid line. Which brings us to our top spot on this episode. Number 1, returning athlete Christian, or 3Run Koval on Instagram. So this is another clip from Project Underground 8, and he actually placed first in this event from this line. This line shows a lot of technique along with a huge amount of endurance, because he's throwing multiple double skills within this line, and it's actually a pretty long one, a good 30 seconds long or so. So he's just moving back and forth through this gym and finishing with such a power skill that he really shows that he has the endurance to be a top competing athlete. So we're going to start this off with a really awesome Makako in, and a cartwheel on the floor, just kind of conserve momentum and doesn't have to worry as much about the landing. Goes straight into toe shoot dub. Or toe shoot gainer. I'm not sure what the proper name for that one is. And interesting over the bar technique into pop cast. I like that. Cameraman kind of goes out of view for a second, but he has a palm flip on the back wall. Looks like he lands it just fine. Pretty easy skill for him, no problem. And a nice scoot dub to finish it out. So clean run, definitely. You can watch him celebrating at the end, and he knows he did a really great job on that one. I really feel like that run had pretty much everything that it needed to be a top competing run. When looking at a lot of the top runs from these competitions, usually what you're going to see is that they're opening with a power skill, they've got a double somewhere in there, and that they're ending with some kind of power skill. And everything in between, as long as there's not a lot of hesitation, there's a good amount of footwork, and you have a nice amount of variety with all your skills, you can usually, not guarantee, but have a pretty good chance of placing within a competition. Alright, so that wraps it up for this week's top 7 videos. I'm always coming across amazing athletes on Instagram, and I always try to bring forth the best content that I feel really pushes parkour and freerunning to the next level, but I can't always see all the content. So if you guys feel that there's a video that you think should make it to the top 7 weekly videos, make sure you guys tag me in it and I can hope to see it. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you like this video, go ahead and hit that like button and leave a comment down below. And if you guys want to see more awesome videos like this along with weekly content, make sure you guys follow me. It's ninja.smith on Instagram. And until then, see you next time, guys.